Well, the United States and China have wrapped up the latest round of talks aimed at ending a trade war that's cost billions of dollars. Now, there's no deal at the moment, but there is a feeling it may be close. At the end of 2 days of talks in Washington, China has promised to buy an additional 5 million tons of U.S. soybeans.
We have made tremendous progress. That doesn't mean you're going to have a deal, but I can say that there is a tremendous relationship and warm feeling. I'll be meeting with President Xi. Maybe once and maybe twice, and it'll all seems to be coming together.
Well, for more, international China strategist Andrew Leung joins us now live from Hong Kong. Thanks so much for speaking to us. Do you believe President Trump when he says tremendous progress has been made at these talks?
Well, I think both sides want a deal. For President Trump, I mean, he has got to contend with the rising tide of politics against him on many fronts, and the last thing he wants to do is to, for this collapse in these negotiations with China, because it's not affecting only federal employees and the government, but it's affecting his constituencies, particularly the agricultural sector, and of course on Wall Street. As far as President Xi is concerned, of course, China has been suffering from these tariffs, and then jobs are being lost and factories are being closed, and it's no good for President Xi as well. So I think that both sides would have to compromise. But as we look at the demands from the United States, creating a level playing field and freeing the market more for American businesses, and also intellectual property protection. Well, these are the very things that China wants herself in order to grow the economy to a higher level. In fact, before this trade war, China already introduced various directives in these directions. So I think that both sides are coming close. But on the other hand, even a deal is concluded, it's not going to change the dynamics. This kind of increasing global rivalry between the United States and China. Because when China was helped to join the WTO, the hope was that China would be more like the West in more ways than one, in the economy, in its politics, and so on and so forth. But then after so many years, this hope has been totally dashed. And there is a bipartisan consensus that the United States to push back against China, against its perceived irregularities in trade practices, against its state subsidies of state-owned enterprises, and also against some of its assertiveness, for example, in the South China Sea and elsewhere.
I have to raise one issue, though, quickly with you, because you said China actually wants most of the same things that the United States wants in fair and free trade. But do they really? I mean, particularly you brought up intellectual property theft. That is more viewed as a one-way street, with the United States being taken advantage of by Chinese producers having stolen U.S. intellectual property.
Well, I think that when it comes to violations of U.S. law, obviously this is being taken care of in this filing of charges against Huawei. But as far as China is concerned, China wants to promote innovation, particularly not relying on the import of proprietary technologies, which would subject to China to the pressure of other countries. And as China's economy is growing from a labor-intensive model to a more innovative-driven model, it is in China's interest to promote intellectual property of its own innovators. And indeed, Huawei itself has filed many international patents compared with other big international firms. So I think it's in China's interest to protect intellectual property. And also, secondly, and it's also opening the market to increase the kind of competition for its own enterprises.
Okay, Andrew Leung, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much, though, for joining us on TRT World.